Boys and girls, today when I gave you the vocabulary test, I asked you a few questions at the end, and a couple of them were, what are you missing most about school? What are you liking most about being home? And would you be up for having any sort of a video on just kind of how to schedule your day and how to stay organized, and maybe you're struggling a bit, or maybe you're not struggling a bit, but you feel like you could be doing it better. And based on that feedback, I wanted to talk to you about a few things because I got some emails and some things surface, and it's all really good stuff. First of all, you think I was lying when I said a previous student has actually bought me a Have a Plan t-shirt. This is the Have a Plan t-shirt. I said I would show you and prove to you that it was a true story, but I gather them. So I'm going to try to give you a happy medium so you don't have to feel like, oh, now she's telling us we have to do this plan. And oh, she gave me some tips I could use. So do not watch this video and say, well, Mrs. Shimmick just sent us a video. We have to do what she said. No, I just want you to view this video as something that is a tool for you, and you think of a takeaway that, oh, I think I might do this, or I think I might add that. Or some of you who are like, thank goodness, because I wasn't planning my day at all, and I wasn't thinking about any of this. So there's 70 of you, and there's multiple teachers communicating with you, and your parents are trying to be on the same page as you, and we're trying to be on the same page as you, and we want your parents to be on the same page as us. So there's a lot of communicating that needs to go on, and I just want to show you a little bit about how I'm handling being a mom to 4 who are online learning and a teacher to 70 who are online learning. So I'm kind of trying to balance that out too. And I know some of you have shared, you're helping your siblings. Some of you are only working in the evening. Some of you are sharing a computer. Boys and girls, if you've changed your mind on not wanting your Chromebook home, it's not too late. You can email me, you can email Mrs. Olson, you can get your Chromebook if you feel like that is a little bit of an issue. We all have different schedules and we all have different commitments. It's called family, and we all come from different backgrounds and we're all doing different things. Okay, so we totally appreciate the flexibility factor here and the needing to do what works for you. So I'm going to say this again. You're not watching a video on what you have to do. You're watching a video based on you telling me on the survey, Mrs. Shimmick, we could use one of your life speeches, maybe on scheduling our day. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay. So the first thing that I want to tell you is I do feel, and I'm seeing that many kids are trying to wake up in the morning and get everything done so they have the rest of the day free. And I just want to say beware of that, because we have plenty of weeks ahead of us with online learning. So I don't want you to get burned out with doing that. I also know that as a parent, when they say, can I go to a friend's? And I say, well, are your chores done? Do you have your bedroom cleaned? And then they want to get there so badly to their friend's house. So all of a sudden, all the clothes get thrown in the closet. The dishwasher gets emptied, but not the silverware. The dog gets fed, but the water doesn't get changed. It's like everything is kind of done. And I don't want quality of work to struggle because you're looking at this as a chore list so you can do whatever you want the rest of the day, which leads into the other problem with doing that. What are you doing the rest of the day? So if you have a valid reason, don't say, well, Mrs. Shimmick, I have to because I have to do this. It's fine. I know. But what I'm telling you is, some of you are probably rushing to get all that stuff done, and then by 2:00 in the afternoon think it's been the longest day of your life and you can't play with friends and you don't know what to do. Okay? So hopefully this will help you break up your day, and you can modify it however you want, and you can email me with questions or feedback or use things and not use things. Okay? So first thing I want to tell you is I've broken up our day into these, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-hour slots. Okay? I have a 9 to 10, a 10 to 11, a 12 to 1, a 1 to 2, and a 2 to 3. So 11 to 12 is off the table on here. Okay? And my kids do get up before 9 most days. But let me tell you what we did. From 11 to 12 was my non-negotiable. Like Mr. Shimmick and I, we have to be in meetings from 11 to 12 every day. We can't help kids. We can't be interrupted. We have to do other things with school. So we're in meetings. I'm taking that out so kids know you can do what you want during that time and you can work on schoolwork. But so maybe you have something during the day where your parents are saying, or you're saying, I'm not doing it at that time. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I wake up at noon. Well, then yours is going to go noon to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to, okay? Put in 4 or 5 time slots is what I'm telling you, okay? So if you have these hour time slots, and they can start 8:30 to 9:30, you get what I'm saying, chunk your day, okay? So then I look at what I have to do. So I go, Mr. VT shares that schedule on Monday. It's on the Science Google Classroom. Then it gets put in your shared docs file. So you have the whole calendar for the week. Boys and girls, or any parents listening, if you don't know how to find that calendar and you can't find it like that, I will be glad to do a screencast and show you on your computer screen while I'm talking how to do that. It would literally take me a couple minutes, but I'm not going to break into this video and do that separately. But seriously, send me an email if you don't know how to get to that calendar and you're confused, because that's kind of going to make or break us, okay? So for instance, today, okay, in math, it said go to your Google Calendar, take notes on 7.2 and watch the video. And then if you don't have any questions, take the exit slip. If you have questions, email Mrs. Kraus. Boys and girls, 10 to 11 at our house is always math, okay? And that's just because it's going around Joe's schedule. So whether they have personal finance or they have statistics or third grade math gets done from 10 to 11, okay? And that's because Mrs. Kraus has Google Meet at that time. At 10:30, if you need help, you go to your icon in the corner, your little waffle grid, and you click on it on Google and you go down and there's the Google Meets. Okay, it's a little like film thing. Again, parents, you are not going to be bothersome. Kids, you are not going to be bothersome. Email me and be like, I don't know how to get to Google Meets. Okay, but that happens at 10:30 every day. So I know if we schedule math from 10 to 11 and Joseph has trouble and needs to get a hold of Mrs. Kraus, that's in that time slot. Okay, if he doesn't need her, he doesn't need her, but that's just a good time for us. Okay. The other thing about Google Meets, I asked Mrs. Kraus, like, well, what if a kid feels dumb about like talking into, like, they just, I don't know, they're not comfortable getting on there. Can they just click on and listen to you and listen to other people without their face showing and all this stuff? She said yes. Okay, she said yes. You'd rather click on and listen. You don't have to have questions. This isn't one-on-one with her. She's got kids going on every day who are just asking questions. I'll bet anything that kids are asking questions you have, so you could just go there and listen if you wanted to, okay? And then maybe that will give you the confidence to ask a question if you need to. So that's where I put math. So then I look on here and I'm like, well, I'm used to starting my day during the school year with ELA. I might as well go. What did she want me to do today? Update my reading slide? That takes 5 minutes. Do my journal entry? Okay, I can do that. And take my vocab test. I will do that. Okay. Independent read, I don't put up here. It just seems like a lot. I'm doing math. I'm doing multiple steps. I'm doing all this. We find another time in our day to do our independent read where everyone in our family is just like, be quiet. Okay. It's funny how some of you have emailed me that you miss a quiet classroom when you read. I know it. My house has 6 people in it. We are quarantined together and we have 6 people and everyone's picking at people. I totally get it. So maybe you want to say, guys, we're all reading at this time. Okay. Or read before bed is a good time too, because you're in your bedroom and people might not bother you in there, but put that reading in at a different time, but that needs to get scheduled. So I'm just going to put it at 1 just for the sake of having this schedule. Okay, so I put that in there. So I've got that done. I've got math done. And then it looks like Mr. Van Thiel wanted me to do a flip grid. And so I'm going to do that at noon. I'm going to do my science assessment. I added that on there. Sorry about this little chart. I'll show you what I really use. I'm doing this just for the sake of the selfie video. But I'll show you what my family really uses. And then you have the elective PE. And this is how we're handling elective PE. Okay, we're picking a time slot and we're putting electives, choir, band, that sort of stuff in one of the chunks. Just happen to throw it in the last chunk today. Okay, in that last chunk, choir and band a lot of times says you have something that's due at the end of the week. So that can be did I have time for it today? Am I burnt out today? One of the things you guys said on the survey of what you're liking the most is I can go slower at home if I need to. I can go way faster at home if I need to. Okay. One of the things you said you're missing is no one's telling me what to do, which is code for you don't feel like you're holding yourself accountable, and it's hard to be disciplined. So I think that schedule will help this too. So you might think like, well, Mrs. Shimmick, you just told me how I'm going to make my day back-to-back school. And this is how this is going to work. This is why it kind of works for my family. So let's say you get to science and it's 12 to 1 and it takes you 15 minutes to do your Flipgrid. You now have 45 minutes to do what you want, whatever that be. Okay, you see how that works? It's kind of like you finish and you have the rest of the hour. You're like building in those nice breaks. So today from 9 to 10, you had to update your independent read slide. That takes you all of 5 minutes. That journal entry, let's say it took you 20. We're going to have a separate video on these journal entries. But let's say that took you 20 tops. Okay, now you're at 25 minutes. That vocab test, let's say that took you 15 minutes. Okay, you still have time. I can't do that math in my head that quick, but you still have time until you're planning on starting math. That's when you take a break. That's when you're like, I'm hungry. Oh yeah, I forgot I can eat whenever I want now. And you go get something to eat, you go get something to drink, or you quick check your Snapchat, or you go play a quick video game. But you've built in that time. Okay. The other building in of time that we've done at my house is the PE component, the mental health component, the doing what you need to do to stay sane and healthy and emotionally healthy and physically healthy. Okay. All of your breaks shouldn't be, a screen. All right. So what we do is like, 1 to 2 is our reading time, and we got done with reading after 20 minutes. What are we going to do for 40 minutes? Let's go for a bike ride. Let's play a game of horse. Our family has these ball handling stations set up in the garage now. Be creative. But ways to be active and ways to do things. But that can get built in there. So your PE component with this journal, you could do 5 things a day if you really wanted to. I know, like Mr. Westfall sending things. My high schoolers have these workouts. My Mrs. Reeby is giving all these suggestions. So there's so many things you can build in throughout that day. Okay, so these are just a few ways that I can show you how you can still get everything done, but not try jamming it all in one spot. And you can do it in the order you want. But if you kind of break it down by hour and give yourself all those longer breaks, it might be an easier way to manage it for you. And you might slow down, read directions, give yourself time because you know you're getting a break. I think we're made, if you want to start it at 7 a.m., go ahead. I've got kids emailing me so early in the morning. I know you're still on get up early time, but I know my kids who do their work in the evening too. So I know not to say, hey, why didn't you take the vocab test yet? Because I know they usually don't come on till 5 or 6 at night. So everyone has a different schedule and we're working through this. But I thought if I showed you how to chunk the time, that might help. You're doing great, guys.